The Adizero Takumi Sen 9 and the Adios Pro 3 are two top racing shoes from Adidas this 2023. Now, they are similar in several ways. However, on pricing, they are so very much wide apart, almost $100 between them. So how do they compare head to head? Is the difference worth $100? As a casual runner, if you have the lower price Sen 9, can you benefit by upgrading to the higher priced Adios Pro 3? Will the additional value be worth $100? I'm sure this is the question that so many runners out there are wondering about. And in this video, I'm going to try to answer that question. Hello runners, once again it's your man the running dog Dr. CY, and thanks for clicking to watch this video. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, I urge you once again to please click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the interesting videos that we got just coming up. So today I'm pitting these two shoes against each other head to head. I have done a half marathon in the Adios Pro 3. I have done a half marathon in the Sen 9. I have also done so many speed walks and tempo runs on both shoes. First of all, let's go with the similarities. These two shoes are pretty lightweight. Now, they have the same midsole material, the Adidas Lightstrike Pro, which we know delivers excellent lightweight and responsive cushioning. They both have embedded energy rods to the midsole for speed and stability. They also have similar upper material, the Adidas Celemesh. They look very thin, but they are tough. They are all superbly breathable. All stems from the material of this upper. They look almost like net-like material. Walking or running in these shoes, you just feel the wind flowing through the shoes. They both offer very nice lockdown. Pretty good in both shoes. Different lacing systems, but each of them does a very nice job. And then another thing too, which you can see similar in these shoes, is the almost total absence of padding. The import of this is that you need a very nice stocking to be able to wear these shoes comfortably. But that's as far as the similarities go. Running in these shoes, you get different vibes, and those differences are what we're about to explore right now. So let's just dive right into it. Now, starting with the shape, the Adios Pro 3, you can see, has a more pronounced rocker shape than the Sen 9. This translates to a smoother ride when you are running in these shoes. This offers smoother transition from landing to toe off. This is very obvious during my runs. The Adios Pro 3 gave a smoother ride than the Sen 9, a nice rolling ride that urges you to lift the next leg as soon as you land on the other one. The Sen 9, on the other hand, compared to the Adios Pro 3, felt more flat. On its own, it gave a pretty nice ride, but in comparison, the ride you get from the Adios Pro 3 is so much better. Now, the next point is the weight. The Adios Pro 3 weighs 238 grams. The Sen 9, on the other hand, weighs 212 grams in the same size, US 11 or EU 45. This is 26 grams lighter than this, and on feet you do notice that extra lightweight on the Sen 9. However, I must state that the bounce from the Adios Pro 3 compensates for the small extra weight. It didn't feel heavy at all. Even at longer distances, even when you are tiring, the bounce from these shoes more than compensates for the extra weight. The next point is the midsole stack. Looking at it, you see the difference in height between the Adios Pro 3 and the Sen 9. While this has 39 millimeters in the heel with a 6.5 millimeter heel to toe drop, the Sen 9, on the other hand, has 33 millimeters in the heel with 6 millimeter heel to toe drop. Standing on these shoes, the Adios Pro 3 clearly has a higher platform with 0 ground feel. The Sen 9, on the other hand, feels closer to the ground with some decent ground feel to it too, but not in any uncomfortable way. And of course, as a lover of on-feet comfort, the Adios Pro 3 is my favorite in this area. Also, the Lightstrike Pro in the Adios Pro 3 feels slightly softer than the Lightstrike Pro on the Sen 9. Furthermore, the Adios Pro 3 did not need any break-in period at all. As soon as I laced up these shoes, they were soft, they were comfortable, they were bouncy and ready to go. In fact, they were just urging me to take a run instantly. The Sen 9, on the other hand, needed a few runs to break into a very comfortable level. So the Adios Pro 3 is a max cushion shoe, whereas the Sen 9 delivers medium level cushioning. In the Adios Pro 3, I could run in my natural foot strike because whether he's striking mid-foot or forefoot striking, this one offers fantastic cushioning and protection. So if you are a heel striker, the Adios Pro 3 will definitely be a better option for you. The next point is energy return. Now, the Sen 9 is very responsive, I must say. Before I got the Adios Pro 3, I already did one half marathon in the Sen 9. Running in it, really did feel pretty nice and responsive. However, after running in this, in comparison, the energy return from the Adios Pro 3 is much higher, especially when you are going at faster paces, less than 5 minutes per kilometer pace. That is when you really begin to feel what these shoes can really do. very bouncy at very fast paces. On my interval speed days, the Adios Pro 3 has become a favorite because that is when I appreciated the bounce better at sub 5 minutes per kilometer paces. Now, the next point is the insole. The insole is slightly thicker and softer in the Adios Pro 3, and it translates to a better underfoot comfort. The arch support is also much better in the Adios Pro 3. Now, I will not complain seriously about the arch support in the Sen 9. Pretty decent because I did a half marathon in this without much problems to my feet. However, the arch support is more pronounced and much more comfortable on the Adios Pro 3 than in the Sen 9. The next point is the toe box width. This one is a no-brainer. Just looking at these two shoes, you see that the Adios Pro 3 is much wider than the Sen 9. And if you watch my full review of the Sen 9, I did mention that these actually did run narrow. I put quite some distance in it, and it did stretch out to comfortable level. However, running in them, you still feel that narrowness. Not much space for the toes to really spread out. The Adios Pro 3, on the other hand, has a much wider toe box, enough room to give my toes ample freedom of movement. Now, talking about durability, the upper of these shoes are based on the same material. However, looking at it, you see that the Adios Pro 3 has more overlays that added a little more structure to this. Well, I'm not sure, but I think it probably might translate to better durability. The outsole are pretty much the same, only that you have more thicker rubber on the inner part of the outsole in the forefoot of the Sen 9. This will offer more protection to those with more aversion at takeoff. The next point is stability. Despite having a higher platform, I felt better stability in the Adios Pro 3 than in the Takumi. I cannot explain the mechanism, but I noticed that the Adios Pro 3 is wider, it is stiffer. Maybe this contributed to better stability than in the Sen 9. Now, let's talk about why we wear shoes in the first place, which is protection of the feet. When we talk about protection, what are we talking about? We are talking about protecting your feet from the stress of running. Remember, when you are running, as you land on your feet, you are dropping about 3 times your body weight on your feet. So that's why we wear the shoes, to reduce the impact on the joints and on the bones, and even on the muscles. Now, the extra cushioning in the Adios Pro 3 is very comforting to the feet and legs. Older runners especially will benefit from the extra cushioning in the Adios Pro 3. My legs feel so much better after running in the Adios Pro 3 than in the Sen 9. Not only the cushioning, notice that the Adios Pro 3 is stiffer than the Sen 9. So this also means less flexion and extension at takeoff. And of course, that releases more stress on the metatarsals and on the toes as you are running, because these are also another problem areas, especially for long distance runners. So there's added protection in these, both from the cushioning and from the stiffness of the sole in the Adios Pro 3, more than you will get from the Sen 9. And lastly, do we talk about the price? Of course. While this is going in the US between 108 to 140 US dollars, Adios Pro 3 on the other hand is going between 200 to 250 USD. Now, here in Saudi Arabia, the Sen 9 sells between 500 to 650 Saudi Riyal, whereas the Adios Pro 3 on most platforms is going around 1,350 Saudi Riyal. So you see that one of these here in Saudi Arabia can buy 2 of these. So that's quite a significant difference in price. And that's a very important factor to consider. So if we like to summarize the pros and cons of each of these shoes, what are the pros in the Sen 9? It is very much lightweight. In fact, I just did a PB 10 kilometers in these shoes about a couple of days ago. For mid and forefoot strikers, these shoes are going to be fantastic for them. Younger runners, these shoes are going to be fantastic for them. And you get more ground feel. That can be an advantage or disadvantage depending on your own inclination. So there's more ground feel in these. It's much lighter, and it definitely costs less. The main negative about this is it offers less protection, especially for heel strikers, because of the less cushioning. Another point too is, compared to the Adios Pro 3, it has less bounce. And then the major issue for this also, for especially if you want to go the marathon distance, is it fits very narrow. It can become uncomfortable as you go longer and your feet begin to swell, which is what you get from long distance running. They really begin to feel very tight. For the Adios Pro 3, they are bouncier. They offer more comfort, they are more stable than the Sen 9, they offer a smoother ride, and then they also give more protection to the feet. Now, what are the negatives? The number one negative to this shoe is the price. It costs significantly more hole in your pocket to get them than the Sen 9, and it has more weight. To summarize, I will say that the Adizero Takumi Sen 9 is a very lightweight, medium cushion, fast and responsive racing shoe. I think this will favor mid to 4-foot strikers more. Younger runners are also going to enjoy this. The Adios Pro 3, on the other hand, is a max cushioned, lightweight, very comfortable and very responsive racing shoe. I feel this will be good for all kinds of runners. Older guys will also benefit from the extra cushioning and protection. Finally, to the question that I posed at the beginning of this video, whether the extra value is worth $100. Now, here's my findings. The Adios Pro 3 gave me a smoother ride. It was more comfortable on the feet and more responsive. It also offered more protection to my feet, especially during long runs. So personally, I feel the extra cost will be a worthy investment for serious runners, especially if you want to go through the marathon distance. On the other hand, the Adizero Takumi Sen 9 offers a very decent, lower cost alternative, especially for young runners. So guys, these are my thoughts on the comparison of these two shoes, the Adios Pro 3 and the Adizero Takumi Sen 9 from Adidas. Once again, I urge you to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and until the next one is goodbye.